is the 2025 Range Rover Sport SV Edition 2, worth every penny. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Land Rover of Shreveport to go over the particulars on this marl gray with white cloud and ebony interior Range Rover Sport Edition 2, a very interesting vehicle with some very interesting features. One thing that you will not find in any other brand of vehicle other than a Land Rover. And we'll go over what that is when we get to the interior, because it's a very interesting feature. If you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video. Now here on the front end, it is going to look pretty classic to a Range Rover Sport, but when you start looking a little bit closer, you're going to see some of the accents. Now I'm curious to know, number one, should these be functional? I say they should be. Looks nice. I like the way it looks, but what do you think about that? Should it be functional? Some kind of a heat extractor, something like that. And what about the finish? Do you like that? You're going to see that in a few different areas. You can also see that on the surround right here around the grille. We're going to have our Pixel LED headlights with signature daytime running lights. And again, taking a look down here, the lower portion of the bumper, the combination here, we're going to have some gloss black. Personally, I would take just more of a traditional carbon fiber look, but somebody might say, you know what, Tom, I really like what this model has. There's your front camera. You're going to have cameras all over this model, all over the Range Rover, so you can see everything going on around you. I do like the black lettering, the gloss black finish with the Range Rover logo on the hood. It works very well with this marl gray exterior color. These are 23-inch wheels. In case you were curious to know, they do have a gloss black finish, very nice looking. You can see they are the Pilot Sports. And side view mirrors, everything you want is going to be here. They're going to have the turn signal indicators built in. As you can see, they're power folding, they're heated, and they're power adjustable. They will also have blind spot monitoring built in. You're going to have the deployable door handles. When the vehicle is in motion or when it's locked, they will go back in like that. When you unlock it, obviously they're going to deploy front and rear, and that makes things very easy to open the doors. And when you close the doors, they're soft close. So if you don't close it all the way, that takes over. Front and rear doors will both do the same thing. We'll also have the gloss black finish with the roof, and it makes your rear privacy glass actually look a little darker than it really is, although that is fairly dark to begin with. We're gonna have the panoramic sunroof, shark fin antennas up top, the rear roof spoiler, where I like seeing the neatly concealed away rear window wiper up here. That just gives it a better look back here on the rear. And we'll finish things off with the tail lights back here, give you a quick look at how those look as far as when they're on. And the quad tip exhaust, I tell you what, the sound coming from this engine is phenomenal. If you're looking for horsepower, this is what you need. You'll also find the SV badging here on the rear. Under the hood is the 4.4 liter turbocharged 8-cylinder engine. I'll give you a look under the cover right here, because I know a lot of you like to see that. That's very easy to deal with, very easy to remove if you want to do that, just to show that off. Whether you're at Cars and Coffee or whatever the situation is, you can see that it's carbon fiber. The SV logo is right there, and it is making a strong 626 horsepower, 553 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This Range Rover Sport is all-wheel drive on air ride suspension. MPGs, probably gonna be hard to achieve this, but here's what it says: 16 city, 22 highway, 18 combined. 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And yes, I am going to make sure that that cover is neatly snapped back down. And you'll also see the exposed carbon fiber. This is a carbon fiber hood, just to show you what you're going to see on the underside of this hood. The gas tank size on this Range Rover Sport comes in at 23.8 gallons. Towing comes in at 7,716 pounds. And you have the sensors on the bumpers right here, or the side of the bumper on each side. You can do that on either side. Use that kick motion to open your power hands-free tailgate. 31.9 up to 53 cubic feet worth of cargo space. Now you might notice that the tailgate didn't open as wide as you might expect. Well, you can reset that. In fact, it has a sensor on it. If it's in a situation where maybe the ceiling is lower, if it's almost going to hit the ceiling, when it gets close to hitting the ceiling, it will actually stop at that point and not go all the way up. So that's nice to know, but you can reset this. And here's how the process works. We're gonna move it up and we're gonna hold the button down right here. Takes a few seconds. I don't even know if you can hear it out here because it's kind of noisy, but we'll listen for the beeps. Let me see if it'll do it. I don't know if you heard that or not, but we have the ability to go ahead and close the tailgate now, and then we'll open it back up. We'll use the remote this time. There is your remote. Nothing out of the ordinary there, but we'll use the button right there to open it back up, and you'll see that it opens all the way this time. That's how easy it is to reset the height of your power tailgate. And to raise or lower the seats, we've got the buttons right here. You can pull back on those to bring the seats back up, and you can see that they come up rather quickly. You push those buttons forward to lower the seat backs to maximize your cargo capacity. And then we can also adjust the height of the air suspension here in the rear. I don't know if you can see that actually going up right now, but it is. I'm going to show you what it looks like here in just a second. We're going to raise it all the way up, and then we're going to go over here, and there you can see that it's all the way up. So if it's too high or too low, or you just want to reset it wherever you want to, you can stop in between those two settings at the lowest or the highest setting with those buttons. The back button back here is what raises it, and then this button right here in the front is what will allow it to lower. And one more thing, under the floor right there is going to be your spare tire. And we'll take a look into the back seat and see what your passengers are going to find. Plenty of room with the armrest, and you can raise and lower the shade right here. If you want to take advantage of that, that is kind of interesting that it's a manual shade, but there it is. And via the switch right here on both doors, you can recline the seats. I know a lot of people like to know about that. You can see that those seats are nicely reclined. We also have the nice size door beds right here. Take a look at some of the finishes into the interior, and your panoramic sunroof. Plenty of space there for allowing light in. Nice large sunroof. You do have the power shade that can be drawn forward if needed, and that front portion will also open. Now we'll hop on inside here and take a look at what else we have. Here's everything for controlling the third and fourth zones of climate control. As you can see, we have 4 zones of climate control here. And when you pull on that, it's going to allow for changing the fan speed, as you can hear. And then we can push in and we can turn on the ventilated seats or the heated seats for the rear seat passengers. Definitely don't need the heated seats today in Northwest Louisiana. We'll also find some connectivity down here, as you can see. Air conditioning vents and keep things nice and comfortable back here for your rear seat passengers. You'll also find your fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. There's your cup holders. Those can be concealed away. And then there's also a little bit of storage within that area as well. And if you're wondering about additional air conditioning vents, you will find the roof mounted air conditioning vents alongside the oh crap handle right there at the rear doors. The sticker price is $186,530. Let's see what else you get for that price. There is a head-up display that you can adjust, and very easy to deal with, very bright. Don't know how well you can see it through the lens of my camera, but it is there. Power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. They're going to be fully adjustable with seat memory for both sides, heated and ventilated. And then there are even more features as far as this goes beyond what we see on the door right there. We're going to go right here. You can see what I've done. This is how we're going to handle adjusting everything. You have the massage function. You see seat heat right there. You can also go to adjust. And so if you're wondering about lumbar support, here is where you do that. That is done within the infotainment screen, and we'll adjust the appearance of the screen to try and get rid of some of that motion that was on the screen. I apologize for that, but you can see what's here for the driver or the passenger side. We can go over there to the passenger side and do the same thing. And you can see that you can also use the chauffeur setting right there. You can also fold the seats. There's a lot of different things you can do here. I'm going to come back to that shortly. Here is the driver's display. Very nice, very modern looking, very easy to deal with. If you need to make any adjustments, push right there, and then you can arrow your way over so you can see what we have. We can change what's on the left side, the right side. Your display layout can be changed. There are your head-up display settings. If you want to go in and change that, just so you can see what all is here, you can bring up navigation. You can do whatever you need to. It makes it very simple. It looks complicated, but I promise you it is not. You turn on your heated steering wheel right there. I don't need that today because we're going to be in the 80-degree range today. Everything for your cruise control is going to be there too. Your shifter paddles on the back of the shifter right here for working your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. You can control everything with your exterior lighting and, believe it or not, your turn signal indicators. That is a standard feature on these Range Rover Sports, even though sometimes drivers might lead you to believe otherwise. And then our front and rear window wiper controls. This is a power adjustable steering wheel. Right here is the control for that. You can adjust it tilt and telescopically. The upper console, here is where we open and close the power shade. In fact, I drew that forward just so you can see it. Plus, we're going to minimize the light coming into the interior. And there's where you're going to open and close that front portion I mentioned earlier. And if you need to use it, if you're having trouble seeing, you can turn the camera on with your rear view mirror right there. That takes care of that. A very nice feature. Now you have a very clean look here with the dash area. However, I do miss the presence of controls, physical controls for the air conditioning. All of that is controlled right here, as you saw earlier in the video. There you go. You can see that. There's where you're going to control your ventilated and your heated seats, fan speed. You can sync everything together right there. You've already seen some of that. We can go into vehicle right here and make changes depending on what we want to do with our driving modes. You can see what we have right there, off-road mode, and then you can see everything else that's here with all of that. Quite a few different things. If you want to have auto brake hold mode, I don't like that on, so I'm going to turn that off for the test drive later on. The auto stop start, you can turn that off or on right there depending on what you want to do, and your active exhaust. And I don't know if you can hear that or not. Doesn't sound as good inside as it does outside, but it's so loud out there with all the traffic from the road next to us. It's kind of hard to give you a good idea of what that sounds like, but you can see what's going on here. Now you can also turn the auto stop start off right there. And here within the screen, you will also be able to find navigation. You can connect your phone. You can go in and change the media that you're listening to. And we'll come back to dynamic right there in just a minute, where you see that SV logo, but you can see some of the slope assist right here. As far as that feature goes, you also have your compass. There's actually quite a bit going on here that you can go into. You've got your wade sensing, something we could have used in Northwest Louisiana just yesterday before I made this video, because we had a lot of flooding here in the Northwest Louisiana area. You can change your ride height. And so you can go to off-road 1 or 2, you can go to normal. It will raise and lower the vehicle, and you'll see it happening on the screen. I know you can't feel what it's doing on the inside of the Range Rover Sport that I'm sitting in because you're not here, obviously, but that is taking place as well. So quite a bit going on where that's concerned, but I want to go back here real quick, and let's go right here. I told you we were going to do this. So you got a few interesting little goodies here. You have your lap timer if you want to do that. You can also see your distance. There's a stopwatch here. There's a lot of cool little features you can use. Your configurable dynamics are going to be here depending on what you want to do. Go back in here and see a few of the different options. So there's a lot going on that you can customize. Plus, we can go right here and see a little bit of everything that's available. Now we can also go right here and see all of your different options for different features and functionality. So depending on what you want to see, you can do that. Very easy to deal with. There's a lot going on here, but I like to show the camera views because there are plenty of views on and around the Range Rover Sport right here, depending on what you need to see and where you need to see, whether it's the rear or the front. You can do all of that. You can also go right here back to where we were and zoom in. If we need to, we can scroll in like this, scroll around and zoom in. Very easy to deal with. You got your 3D view if you want to use that. and just see what's going on around the vehicle. Make sure that you're not going to hit anything, or if you're too close to someone else's vehicle or they're too close to you. And there is your off-road view. It shows you what's going on right in front of you. Very nice to see. Also towing. If you need that, you can see how easy it is to see what's going on back there with the trailer. If you need to hitch up to a trailer, you can see the overhead view. A little bit of everything here, that's for sure. And then we're going to have this area right here. Let's get that out of there so I can show you that you have your wireless charging pad right here. You can see what's going on in there. Hopefully you can see. It's a little bit bright today, I know. And here is your shifter. I love these shifters because of how it fits so nicely in the palm of my hand. That works really well. There's where we're going to go into park, turn the engine on and off, and then we can also conceal this area away as well where the cup holders are. You can also move those cup holders out of the way. There's another USB port right there. Plenty of space in this area. And you also have the center console with the refrigerator. This is the refrigerated center console, and you have two different options or two different stages for keeping that nice and cool depending on what you want to do with that. It would be nice if there was maybe a little bit more space, but you know what? It'll keep a couple of drinks cool or whatever you need where any of that is concerned. And a couple more things about those side view mirrors. I'm going to push the button right here, and here's what's going to happen. Number one, you'll see that they are power folding, and you'll also see the blind spot indicator, that little orange dot right there. And one more important thing here in the interior, this is the main attraction in my opinion, what we have right here, the body and soul seats. Now what is that? You can see the sensors right here. What that does is when the radio is playing, the stereo is playing, it's actually going, you're going to feel tremendous vibration. It's almost a massage experience depending on what's playing, how much bass it has in it, different things like that. But you can really feel what's going on with these seats. It's an experience you really have to have on your own. The best thing I can do is tell you about it. You've got to have it yourself, but it really adds to the driving experience. It's a very unique, as it says right here, unique and powerful experience through haptic feedback. And I'm going to tell you what, if you get a chance to sit in these seats, you will understand what I'm saying. It is very interesting. All right, we're going to get on down the road here with the Ultra Plush driving experience. It's extremely comfortable, not only with the way the air suspension allows this Range Rover to just glide down the road, pretty much floating down the road. It's very comfortable and very enjoyable. The seats themselves are very comfortable, but you also have the advantage of, when you need it, I'm not going to get on it too hard, but hopefully you can hear the exhaust note just a little bit there. Being that this might be one of your future vehicles, I better not step on it too hard. Don't want to upset anybody. Not broken in, so we're going to try and be careful. But great handling characteristics, easy to see out of. But if you ever have any trouble, don't forget, obviously we can take advantage of the mirror. You also have your blind spot monitoring in addition to so many other great driving aids here. But stepping on the pedal is the most fun part. It'd be fun to drive one of these Range Rover Sports with the engine broken in just to see what the difference is. Then you can really step on it a little bit more. Great handling characteristics, nice tight turning radius. That's always a nice thing to have. So if you're dealing with tight confines, you can get around, no problem at all. And it's not only capable on-road, it's also capable off-road. I showed you some of those driving modes that it has earlier in the video. Even your wade sensing, so you can drive through some fairly deep water, maybe not super duper deep, but you can get into that. Now let's do this. This road is extremely rough, so I'm going to let you listen. It's actually doing a fantastic job of soaking up the bumps, and it's really quiet in here as well. Now, I know it may not sound the same to you as it does to me here in person. My microphone tends to pick things up in a little bit more of a louder tone than what I hear in person, but it definitely gets the job done as far as keeping the interior nice and quiet. That's going to make for great on-road experiences, especially with those longer driving experiences. But whether you're in the front seat or the second row of seats, it is extremely comfortable, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive or just to ride in. And there it is, the 2025 Range Rover Sport SV Edition 2. Is it worth every penny? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this Range Rover for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. If you would, please share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.